Hello, this is Lightcast TV. My name is Ninja Lawor Kolek, and we're going to make a commentary on the visit by President William Ruto to the former president of Kenya, Uhuru. His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto today, earlier, visited former President Uhuru Kenyatta at his family home in Gatundu, and during the visit, the two national leaders discussed several issues of national and regional importance. President Ruto took the opportunity to reiterate his appreciation and commendation of His Excellency President Kenyatta's statesmanship in overseeing the peaceful transfer of power after the 2022 elections, as well as the goodwill the former president has continued to demonstrate towards his fellow leaders and his support for Kenya's ongoing progress and development. Both leaders acknowledged the challenging global environment affecting many countries, including Kenya, caused by a complex interplay of factors, the disruptive effects of COVID-19, the war in Ukraine, which destabilized supply chains and led to high commodity prices, particularly for fertilizer and wheat, volatile currency markets, and a harsh macroeconomic climate. They noted progress in addressing these adverse impacts, especially in reducing inflation to its lowest level in the past decade, significantly lowering food prices, stabilizing the Kenyan shilling, and reducing interest rates. President Ruto thanked President Kenyatta for laying a strong foundation that has enabled the government to implement key programs under the bottoms-up economic transformation agenda. These programs include transforming agriculture to ensure food security, achieving universal health coverage, providing affordable housing, empowering SMEs, developing transport and communication infrastructure, last mile electrification, and re-evaluating and reforming the competency-based curriculum and the education sector in general, among other initiatives. Both leaders agreed on the urgent need to accelerate this and other programs to boost household incomes and create more opportunities for Kenyans. They also underscored the importance of cultivating a nationalistic, patriotic, and harmonious working relationship among all Kenyans and stakeholders, including the three arms of government, religious leaders, civil society, and other partners to ensure collective national stability and progress. Additionally, the leaders appreciated the need to achieve broad and more inclusive political consensus in the governance of our country to accelerate the attainment of inclusive growth and fulfill the national development agenda. Their Excellency also acknowledged Kenya's leading role in promoting peace and security in the East African region through diplomatic and peace support initiatives, which are crucial to resolving conflicts, restoring peace, and fostering regional stability. President Ruto commended President Kenyatta for his patriotism and tireless contributions to peacemaking efforts in the region. President Ruto and President Kenyatta further called for the prompt resolution of the court matters regarding the constitution of the IEBC selection panel to facilitate the appointment of commissioners. The two leaders called on Kenyans, friends of Kenya, and international partners to support the candidacy of Right Honorable Raila Odinga for the position of chair of the African Union Commission. They also committed to maintaining regular engagements on matters of national importance alongside other leaders and stakeholders. Finally, President Ruto and President Kenyatta extended their warm wishes to all Kenyans, wishing them happy holidays as they enter the festive seasons. Don, thoughts?
Yeah, so the meeting comes a few months after Ruto and Gachagua waliacha see eye to eye. So many people are insinuating maybe the move by Ruto to go see Uhuru is maybe issue to do with politics, since maybe currently President Ruto isn't having any favors or any favorites in the Mount Kenya region, because after the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, we have not seen him go to maybe to organize a major event there in Mount Kenya. Tumeona tu akizunguka akienda Western, akirudi akienda Nyanza, tena amerudi ameenda wapi, but hapo Mount Kenya vuleta amekuwa hajaenda actually tangia the impeachment process of Rigathi Gachagua, except ile Embu, but that wasn't a political gathering. It was a church meeting organized by the Catholic Church and for the to ordain the bishop there, one particular bishop. So according to me I think it's a political move, and since he has Ruto has managed to capture Raila and his ODM brigade, I see like he's trying to win favors with Uhuru Kenyatta, since maybe he wants him to be like a replacement in quote of Mount Kenya in his brigade, because we also saw that Gachagua was also talking of meeting maybe Uhuru Kenyatta or forming a possible alliance with him and Kalonzo Musyoka and some things of those. So I think it's a move by Ruto, maybe anataka favors, and maybe ameenda kuangalia like for advice. He is going to seek for advice because maybe some things are not going on well in his government, and he sees that the only way to go around the issues is to go to the person who has been there, mwenye amemtangulia kwa ofisi. So that's my take. Yeah, so I guess I don't know, because former presidents have always not have that power ya influence wananchi to make political moves, but in the case of Uhuru Kenyatta, he still has some influence, and maybe a possible alliance with him, it will mean maybe it is the last nail to the coffin of the suffering wananchi, because if those people that are supposed to be to be defending wananchi kwa mambo na gava are maybe forming alliances with Ruto, that means that Kenyans maybe they'll be on their own. So I guess that's my take, and thank you very much for tuning into Lightcast TV, and you can tell us what you think of this meeting. There are comment section of this video on YouTube channel.
Well, interesting that both former and the incumbent presidents met. It was about time, but then again, the former president said that nowadays everything he just sees from the television, and yeah, he's the father, and I think that this meeting was something that should have happened. It's something that was important because of the way things are going in the government. The current government has lost confidence with the Kenyans.
Yeah.
And the way things are going, it's actually very hard to predict whether this government will make it to 2027, because in the education sector, there are problems in matters of high learning, education, the model at which they came up with, in which the students are supposed to use so as to apply for funding.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem. Go to the health sector, the sharp sheep is said to be a hoax or a channel through which the government wants to plunder Kenyans.
Yeah.
Because up to now, there's so many people who are complaining. Like my mom still is complaining that she's not getting the health checkup that she deserves from her home.
Yeah.
When you go to the ground, the ground is very hostile because hakuna pesa mfukoni, and we're in the month of holidays where people are
celebrations.
supposed to go and relax with their families,
And eat chapari and kuko.
and people are supposed to, meet and, have a good time and maybe take stock of what they have done throughout the year. But as many would say, it has not been a good year because of the things that have transpired.
Yeah.
Most of the families earlier on, we saw the protests that were made by the Gen Zs, and so many people died. There's been femicide going on. So there are people who started this year looking forward to seeing December, but they ended up dying, and their family members are still asking the government what is the way forward, because this is a stalemate. This is something that the government should have handled impromptu, and it's just a matter of time before the people decide to actually take matters into their own hands and decide that power belongs to the people. So I think even as President Ruto has gone to maybe solicit advice from the former president, whom he really backlashed while he was getting into power, I think it's important to also listen to the ground and understand what people need and realize that time is not on his side, because come 2027, if he does not improve on his service delivery to the Kenyan people, then he will be ousted and go down in history as a one-term president.
Yeah, so the office of the fourth president of Kenya released a press statement regarding their meeting with the meeting between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. And actually the release was done like an hour ago by the time we are making this video. And they are saying it's normal and common practice and indeed recommended that sitting and former presidents engage and consult on matters of national importance for the benefit of citizenry. It is in the light of this that His Excellency President Ruto paid a courtesy call to the fourth president of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, at his Ichaweri residence in Gatundu. The two engaged in discussions pertaining to Kenya's national interests, particularly matters that have been raised by citizens as challenges and handicaps to their well-being. This included animosity within the political ranks that has created a hostile atmosphere, leading to harassment of individuals perceived to be in opposition or hostile to the government, matters taxation that have been raised by Kenyans and possible solutions to them, matters of insecurity and best practice in citizen policing, and matters of human capital at all levels capable for resolving these challenges. President Kenyatta encouraged President Ruto to build a broader political consensus that ensures inclusivity in the government and development at all levels. They also discussed the need for a vibrant opposition that is crucial for our democracy. His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta laid emphasis on specific areas that he felt are crucial in stabilizing the country. Among these are transparency, accountability. He stressed that in a democracy sector, practitioners need to be consulted continuous and sustainably because they have solutions themselves.
Further to entrench Kenya's democratic credentials, there is urgent need to reconstitute IEBC in a similar transparent manner. Further, continuous engagements are the solution to an all-inclusive democratic process. Even good ideas that are not implemented transparently will create suspicion and mistrust. In the difficult circumstances that the global community is experiencing, accountability and transparency become the hallmark of stability. He called for a people-centered, service-oriented culture in government actions. President Uhuru agreed to be consulted privately or otherwise in efforts that lead to a hopeful, prosperous, united, and stable nation. On his part, His Excellency President Ruto agreed to engage all stakeholders in an effort to remove any unnecessary tension in the country and to propose a reconciliatory way forward. He stressed that the tensions caused by the elections are over and it is time to focus on the future as one people.
Yeah, so the way you said earlier, as much as it's important for President Ruto to go consult the former President Uhuru, it's important for him to listen to the ground, because even if right now he doesn't listen to to what people are saying in the ground, on the ground, he still mess up and they still make errors. Because, for example, right now, someone like Uhuru Kenyatta is one of the people on the ground. I can say maybe as much as he has the wealth, he has everything, maybe he has experience, and they say that experience is the best teacher. Because even right now, I know that Uhuru Kenyatta, where he is, he says that he can be saying that there are issues that maybe he can fix. Right now, that is like outside government. You see, sometimes your eyes are clearer when you are outside. When you see things from a third party perspective, you can be able to correct some things here and there. And actually, this meeting comes amidst the rumors that there is a looming cabinet reshuffle that may see the former Uhuru Kenyatta's friends being included in this government. So I guess the meeting also, apart from what they are publishing, you never know what they discussed behind the scenes. Sometimes, because right now there is a chance, that is the Interior Ministry. It doesn't have a CS allocated to it. So far is Mudavadi holding it at acting capacity. So I guess things are cooking, because you saw last handshake Ruto did with the Raila Odinga. So some of ODM members being appointed into the government as cabinet secretaries and other appointments. So do you think that that's a possibility?
At this point, I can say anything is possible, because right now Ruto is clamoring for any party or any stakeholder who is willing to bring help to the government in matters to just ensure that the public image is taken care of.
Yeah.
Because what people are saying on social media, what people are venting on the ground is not something that William Ruto is into his liking. I don't think he is happy. I don't think that he is he's easy on himself, because as much as there's a lot of things that needs to get done.
Yeah.
I think he realized that time is not on his side, and so he's willing to get anybody on board who is willing to help him to ensure that the government is delivering on its manifesto and delivering on what it had promised coming in the year 2022 as they were being sworn in. So I think that the president now is extending an olive branch.
Yeah.
Is extending an olive branch to the people first whom he had negated to be the very people that overturned this government and made it to have a dilapidated economy, according to his former president Gachagua. As they entered in, that was the premise that they came up with, that the government of the day that was then Uhuru Kenyatta had misused the funds that was supposed to help increase service delivery. But now, 2 years down later, the ground is completely hostile to the president, and Kenyans have completely become woke on what is happening. And Kenyans are demanding that if things do not change in the next 2.5 years, come 2027, then President William Ruto will have nothing to hold on to, because he has done all he could. He has brought in Uhuru Kenyatta. He has removed Rigathi Gachagua, who was seen to be somebody who was tribalistic. He has reshuffled the government. But then again, in matters to do with the economy and the GDP of the country, things have not yet improved. So I think that as much as he is trying his level best, people are still asking, with the level of expediency that he removed Rigathi Gachagua, why doesn't he ensure that he uses the same level of expediency to ensure that services are delivered? Why shouldn't he use the same level of expediency in which he practiced impeachment on Rigathi Gachagua to ensure that education systems are streamlined, to ensure that SHA reaches to the common mwananchi, to ensure that mwananchi aliye chini akona pesa mfukoni, so that they do not struggle. And so I think the government has left a lot to be desired, and they're left to their own devices. So I think Ruto should just style up and make a paradigm shift and ensure that the people that he has put in his docket to exercise service delivery are actually doing the work.
So
because the buck stops with him.
Very true. So you can ask, Kenyans can ask themselves these particular questions. If at all maybe Ruto was trying to save or to serve the interests of wananchi, I don't think even looking for Raila Odinga or looking for Uhuru Kenyatta really will solve the issues to do with what Kenyans are going through right now, with the high cost of living, high taxes, and things like those. I guess the only thing he could have done, he could have just angewak peke yake. You just go solo and say, like, I want to deliver, because as much as you're president, you have powers to make things come to pass, because all the cabinet appointments are made by you, and you are the one who can determine the best team that can see your interest brought to pass. And I think if kama angetuchukua approach ya just to deliver for wananchi, there would been akungekuwa na complaint from wananchi, kungekuwa tuna see fund, people would have said that maybe Uhuru Kenyatta was the worst president compared to Ruto. So I guess right now, if going to consult maybe someone like Uhuru Kenyatta cannot really help. Kama if he can listen to Uhuru Kenyatta, listen to Raila Odinga, and ignore wananchi, because wananchi are the ones now who put him in the office, who understand what the situation is at the ground. I guess if he would have been so much in touch with the ground, it would have been easier. Because you see here we have his brigade, like the one like Murkomen and Cherargei and other people that come from his government. The way they talk just tells Kenyans that these people in the government don't care about wananchi.
I think I would like to disagree with you a little bit, whereby you said that his meeting with Uhuru and his meeting with Raila Amolo Odinga doesn't really bear a lot of fruit. But I beg to disagree. Look at what is happening right now on the ground. The ground is actually hostile towards the current establishment, that is the UDA party plus its founder, who is Ruto, and he's the president, the fifth president. As a result of having the ground being hostile, can you imagine leading a country that does not want you? And you can remember that during Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure as president, there was a time that the ground was also hostile towards him. And so I think Ruto went to Uhuru's maybe to gain a few conjectures or a few just tips on how to handle such a time, how to be able to become a leader, even though you are still unpopular. You might be unpopular, but then at the end of the day, the things that you end up doing during that unpopular season end up becoming fruitful. And also, Raila Amolo Odinga has been known to pull a mass of following, and he understands, because he has been a leader for almost all his life, ever since the university days and his times when he was, incarcerated by Moi, who was president, the second president of Kenya. And so he has also gone through his fair share of low moments. So I think Ruto is also trying to, get just solicit advice, because, as leaders, the only people who can understand Ruto right now are people who are in the high peak of leadership. Uhuru has been there as a president. Raila Odinga has been the prime minister of Kenya. And so these are people who are very likely to understand where President Ruto is coming from. And so sometimes you have to do the most unpopular things at the moment. Sometimes as a leader, it takes courage to become unpopular. And even as much as you are unpopular, the only people who can understand where Ruto is at are the people who are at his level. We might not be able to, because we are not sitting in Ruto's shoes. We are not the president. We are just the common mwananchi clamoring for service delivery. But now he needs to get help. Sometimes maybe mentally he could be disarray. So
he should go look for a counselor.
Not really a counselor. He needs to get help from the people who have been there before, and they understand what it's like to be the president at a time when he is very unpopular. And maybe he needs tips. Maybe he needs ways in which he can be able to maneuver such a time.
So I guess another way of how to help, on how someone like Raila can help William Ruto is one. Raila to stick in the opposition so that he criticizes each and every movement that Ruto is making. Sometimes if you get you are a boss and you get employees who are just obeying orders, and maybe they are not criticizing because maybe they are afraid, they are trying to protect their job, isn't a good thing, because you will make mistakes and people just clap for you. Your people claps for you, maybe without thinking that the thing that you are saying is not popular pale kwa ground. As much as it's not popular, here there is that duty of going and explaining to people why it is popular. And even before you go lecture people pale kwa ground, try and do something. Hata kama ni moja, do it better, so that people will trust that the next move that you will make, it will be a good move. Not it's like an exam slip. Mtoi amefail question 1 up to 10 and we're still positive that atakuja apate kitu kama 98%. That will not happen. The only thing ni, if someone like Raila would have stuck into the opposition and do his diligent work the way he used to do, it will have been better for Ruto, because as much as they are criticized, ni kama you be corrected by your parent or you be corrected by your elders. Utakaa mahali of course at first time utakuwa emotional na utakuwa na ile unajaribu kupinga, you are trying to see that you are the one who is on the right side, but when you sit down and try to think on that, utaanza kurectify useme yenyewe this move that I make or I made here is not a good move and I should work on it to make things better. So that's my take, and that's our take as here as Don and Ninja. If you're watching our video up to this moment, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel Lightcast TV, and you can also share this video on the various platforms, and also comment with what you think about the meeting between Ruto and Uhuru. You can tell us there in the comment section, and also follow us on TikTok Lightcast TV Kenya, follow us on Facebook Lightcast TV Kenya, and see you on the other video.